What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I want to talk about a post that came across my timeline, right? And it was this post, and it said it was pretty simple. It says you have to cut one, and so I was like, wow, who would I cut out of these guys? You got Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Michael Jordan. So you got six players here, right? And like if you had a team, like who would you cut and why? That's what I want to know. Who would you cut and why? And so I'm gonna tell you who I would cut and why I would cut them. And this is not anything where as though I think that the person that I cut is not as good, but I'm just thinking like in order to have a balanced team, you know this is the person that I would cut. Now you might look at it differently. You might just say, well, I'm going to take the best players, the best five players, and then leave off who I think is is not as good as the rest of these guys. So with that being said, it's up to you basically, like who you cut. But I do want to know why you cut that person. And so now on this team, first of all, I would keep Shaquille O'Neal, right, as center because like you don't have any other options. So these are the if the guys, like if I was starting a team, I would keep Shaquille O'Neal. He'll be my center. Then you're gonna need a power forward, right? And so who out of these guys will be able to play power forward in the for your team? And at power forward position, and I know that this is going to surprise people, but at power forward, I would keep LeBron James. I would have LeBron James as my power forward. And I know people are going to say, well, LeBron is not he's not a forward. He's he's a guard. He's a point guard. But if you look at the choices on this team and who would be uh, able to fulfill that role, I would I would have to put LeBron James there. So far, I'm keeping Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant centers to have ever played the game. Uh, yeah, besides what's the big guy, Wilt Chamberlain. Shaquille O'Neal's like one of the most dominant centers to ever played the game. So and LeBron James, he's one of the best players to ever play the game. So I would assume that LeBron James would be able to make that adjustment and play power forward. Then I will go to the list and say, all right, well, who would I keep next? Who would I keep as small forward? And as small forward, I would keep Kobe. I think Kobe is he's big enough at like 6'7" to be effective at small forward, and again, Kobe is more like a shooting guard, but because of the team, because of the six that I have to select from, I think I would keep Kobe as small forward. He'll be able to handle that position. And also Kobe is a very good, he's a very good on ball defender. So I would definitely keep Kobe. Then next on the list at at the two guard, I would keep Michael Jordan. Right. Michael Jordan is a very good, he was a very good two-way ball player. Um and a very good defender, and he's good on offense. So that's why I would definitely have to keep Michael Jordan. So now it comes down to Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. You're like, who would I put at the point guard? And obviously, I think Steph is closer to being a point guard than Kevin Durant. So I would definitely keep keep Steph Curry over Kevin Durant And like I said, the only reason I'm not keeping Kevin Durant is because, like, at every other position, I think, um, that those guys fit better than Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the one player on this list that I would cut. Now that's if you were playing like 80s style basketball, 80s and the 90s style basketball, where you still had in that era, you still had like the five different positions. You had your point guard, which would be Steph Curry. Then you had your two guard, who would be Michael Jordan. You had your small forward, which would be Kobe Bryant. Power forward would be LeBron James, and then the five. I mean, yeah, the five you had at center, you had Shaquille O'Neal, right? And so, like I said, all five of those guys, fit better on a team than Kevin Durant. Now, in today's era, where you basically have it's almost like positionless basketball. And so, if you want to pick like the five best basketball players, in my opinion, to keep on a team, that'll be that'll be hard. Like positionless basketball, today's game, I think you would have to go with you had definitely have to keep Mike. Mike is the greatest basketball player to ever, in my opinion, to have ever played. So you definitely would have to keep Mike. Um, then like because this is positionless basketball, so you can keep Mike. Um, then you would definitely keep Kobe because I mean, it's just all about positions now. And then, basketball players are so interchangeable. So you keep Mike, you keep Kobe, you keep LeBron, and then after that, I would keep Kevin Durant, and I would keep Steph Curry. So that would be my five, like in this modern era: Mike, Kobe, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry. And so, because in this day and age, you don't see the center position as much. So Shaquille O'Neal in this day and age would be out. He would be the odd man out if I was taking like for this era, because this era, like I said, center's really not that center position that Shaq plays not really as effective or necessary like it was in the past. So he'll be out. But if you're playing 80s style basketball, then you have Shaquille in there, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, and Michael Jordan. So, like I said, I want to know, like, in your opinion, which guys would you keep? Out of these six, and try to give me like both both like in the modern era, today's era, like which five would you keep out of the six guys? And also, like, who would you keep, like, the 90s and the 80s and the 90s style of basketball where they still had five different positions, and I know some people, because they're young, they're younger ball players, they're not used to seeing, like, the five different positions. You got the center position, the power forward position, uh, the small forward position, the two guard, and then the point guard. In today's basketball game, you don't have that. Basically, no more centers, no really power forwards to speak of. Everybody is around that. Everybody, because everybody is play away from the get up. They play away from the basketball goal. Everybody can step out and shoot the three or shoot the mid range. So you don't have too much in the way of uh 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 not too much in the way of low post play in today's NBA games. So I need to know from you all, which one do you feel like who would you keep? I mean, who would you get rid of and why? And so I gave you my two separate examples of why I would get rid of different players in different eras. But I thought that was a just a cool question for for people to to think about. And so that's why I gave you both eras, to the modern era and the 80s and 90s, and so that's my take on who I would keep in each situation. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a message or comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.